Once Gautama Buddha said, "Peace comes from within. Do not seek it without." In the hustle and bustle of modern life, we often find ourselves pushing, striving, and forcing outcomes in our relentless pursuit of success, happiness, and fulfillment. We believe that through sheer will and effort, we can bend the world to our desires. Yet, as the Buddha's wisdom reminds us, true peace and contentment are not found by forcing external circumstances, but by cultivating a serene mind and a compassionate heart. This chapter, "Don't Force Anything in Your Life," delves into the profound Buddhist principle of non-force, exploring how letting go and allowing life to unfold naturally can lead to deeper peace and greater fulfillment. Through the lens of Zen stories and the teachings of Gautama Buddha, we will embark on a journey to understand the art of non-force, learning to embrace the flow of life with grace and acceptance. Imagine a river flowing gently through a valley. The water does not force its way through obstacles. Instead, it flows around them, finding its path with effortless grace. Similarly, in our lives, when we stop forcing and start flowing, we align ourselves with the natural rhythms of the universe, discovering a sense of ease and harmony that cannot be achieved through struggle. In the following pages, we will explore 20 core Buddhist principles that illuminate the path of non-force, from the understanding of impermanence to the practice of mindfulness. Each principle offers a beacon of light, guiding us toward a life of balance, patience, and inner peace. We will learn how to release attachments, cultivate compassion, and trust in the natural unfolding of life's events. As we embark on this journey, let us remember that the teachings of Buddhism are not just philosophical musings, but practical tools for everyday living. By integrating these principles into our daily lives, we can transform our approach to challenges and opportunities, finding joy and contentment not in the forceful pursuit of our goals, but in the gentle, mindful acceptance of the present moment. So, let us begin this exploration with an open heart and a willing mind, ready to embrace the wisdom of non-force and discover the profound peace that lies within. Number 1. Understanding the principle of non-force in Buddhism. To truly grasp the principle of non-force, it is essential to delve into the core teachings of Buddhism, which emphasize balance, harmony, and the natural unfolding of life. In this section, we will explore the foundational aspects of non-force, starting with its definition, and then moving on to the concept of the middle way and the importance of interconnectedness. Definition of non-force. Non-force or non-striving is a central tenet in Buddhist philosophy that encourages a gentle and accepting approach to life. It is the practice of allowing things to happen naturally without exerting undue pressure or control. This principle teaches us to flow with life's currents rather than against them, to embrace what comes our way with equanimity and patience. In Buddhism, non-force is often linked to the idea of Wu Wei from Taoist philosophy, which translates to effortless action or action without effort. This does not imply inactivity or passivity. Rather, it means engaging in actions that are in harmony with the natural order of things, actions that arise spontaneously from a place of deep awareness and alignment with the present moment. Gautama Buddha's teachings encourage us to cultivate a state of mindfulness where we are fully present and observant of our thoughts, feelings, and surroundings. In this state, we learn to respond to situations with calmness and clarity rather than reacting impulsively or forcefully. By doing so, we reduce unnecessary stress and suffering, both for ourselves and for those around us. A practical example of non-force can be seen in the practice of meditation. When we meditate, we do not force our minds to be quiet. Instead, We observe our thoughts without attachment, allowing them to come and go naturally. Over time, this practice leads to a calmer, more centered mind, not through force, but through gentle, sustained awareness. By embracing non-force, we learn to trust in the unfolding of life, understanding that some things are beyond our control. This trust is not a resignation, but a profound acceptance that allows us to navigate life's ups and downs with grace and resilience. In summary, the definition of non-force in Buddhism is about cultivating a mindful, patient, and accepting attitude towards life. It is about engaging with the world in a way that is harmonious and balanced, allowing things to unfold naturally while maintaining inner peace and clarity. This principle sets the foundation for a deeper exploration of the Buddhist path, where wisdom and compassion guide our actions, free from the constraints of force and control. Number 2. The middle way. The middle way, or madhyamaka in Sanskrit, is a fundamental principle in Buddhism that guides practitioners towards a balanced and harmonious life. It is the path of moderation that avoids the extremes of self-indulgence and self-mortification. This concept was first introduced by Gautama Buddha after his enlightenment. As he reflected on his own life experiences before attaining enlightenment, the Buddha lived a life of luxury as a prince, followed by years of severe asceticism. He found that neither extreme led to true understanding or liberation. Instead, he realized that a balanced approach, the middle way, was the key to achieving enlightenment. This profound insight became the cornerstone of his teachings. The middle way is not about avoiding effort or discipline, nor is it about indulging every desire. Instead, it is about finding a balanced approach to life that promotes physical, mental, and spiritual well-being. By avoiding extremes, we create the conditions for a peaceful and sustainable path towards enlightenment. In practical terms, the middle way can be applied to various aspects of life. 1. Physical well-being. It encourages us to take care of our bodies without becoming overly attached to physical appearance or comfort. We should neither neglect our health nor become obsessed with it. 2. Mental and emotional balance. It advocates for a balanced mind, free from the extremes of emotional highs and lows. Practicing mindfulness and meditation helps us achieve this equilibrium, allowing us to respond to life's challenges with calm and clarity. 3. Spiritual practice. It promotes a disciplined spiritual practice that is neither too rigid nor too lax. Consistent meditation, ethical conduct, and study of the Dharma should be pursued without becoming overly strict or complacent. The middle way also has profound implications for how we interact with the world. 1. Interpersonal relationships. It encourages us to interact with others with kindness and understanding, avoiding the extremes of aggression and passivity. By practicing compassionate communication, we build harmonious relationships. 2. Work and daily activities. It guides us to engage in our work and daily activities with diligence and mindfulness, without becoming workaholics or neglecting our responsibilities. 3. Desires and attachments. It teaches us to recognize and moderate our desires and attachments. While it is natural to have desires, we should not let them control us. By practicing non-attachment, we find freedom and contentment. The middle way is closely related to the principle of non-force. When we follow the middle way, we avoid the extremes of forcing outcomes or giving up entirely. Instead, we find a balanced approach that respects the natural flow of life. This balanced path allows us to act with intention and clarity, without the stress and suffering that come from trying to control everything. In essence, the middle way is a practical and profound guide for living a life of balance and harmony. It helps us navigate the complexities of life with wisdom and compassion, avoiding the pitfalls of extremism. By embracing the middle way, we create a foundation for a peaceful and fulfilling life, aligned with the natural rhythms of existence. Number 3. Interconnectedness. Pratityasamutpada, the concept of interconnectedness or dependent origination in Sanskrit, is a cornerstone of Buddhist philosophy that illustrates the interconnected nature of all things. This principle teaches that everything in the universe is interdependent and nothing exists in isolation. Pratityasamutpada reveals that every phenomenon arises in dependence on a web of conditions and causes. Nothing exists independently or self-sufficiently. Instead, everything is part of an intricate network of relationships. This understanding profoundly impacts how we view the world and our place within it. To grasp this concept, consider a simple example: a tree. A tree depends on the soil, water, sunlight, air, and countless microorganisms to grow and thrive. Its existence is not independent, but relies on an intricate system of interrelated factors. Similarly, human life is sustained by a myriad of interconnected elements, from the air we breathe to the social and ecological systems. We are part of a vast, interconnected web of life. Understanding Pratityasamutpada, or interconnectedness, has several important implications for our lives. 1. Awareness of interdependence. Recognizing our interconnectedness helps us see how our actions affect others and the world around us. Every decision we make has a ripple effect, influencing people, communities, and the environment. This awareness fosters a sense of responsibility and encourages us to act mindfully and compassionately. 2. Reducing self-centeredness. By understanding that we are not isolated entities, we can move beyond self-centered thinking. This shift in perspective encourages empathy and compassion, as we realize that the well-being of others is intimately tied to our own well-being. 3. Cultivating humility. Appreciating the complex web of conditions that sustain life cultivates humility. We acknowledge that our successes and achievements are not solely the result of our efforts, but are also due to the support and contributions of countless others. 4. Letting go of control. The principle of interconnectedness helps us accept that we cannot control everything. Many factors influencing our lives are beyond our control, and forcing outcomes often leads to frustration and suffering. Embracing Pratityasamutpada encourages us to trust in the natural flow of life and to focus on what we can influence positively. 5. Enhancing cooperation. Recognizing our interconnectedness fosters a spirit of cooperation and collaboration. We see the value in working together towards common goals, understanding that our collective efforts can create significant positive change. In the context of non-force, Pratityasamutpada teaches us that trying to force outcomes is futile because it ignores the complex interplay of conditions that give rise to those outcomes. Instead, we are encouraged to act with awareness and mindfulness, aligning our actions with the natural flow of interdependent causes and conditions. For instance, in a work setting, rather than forcing a project to completion through sheer willpower, we can recognize the various factors at play: team dynamics, available resources, external circumstances, and work harmoniously within those parameters. By doing so, we are more likely to achieve sustainable and effective results. In personal relationships, understanding interconnectedness can help us approach conflicts with empathy and a willingness to see the other person's perspective. We realize that harmonious relationships depend on mutual understanding and cooperation, not on forcing our views or desires onto others. In summary, pratityasamutpada, or interconnectedness, is a profound principle that teaches us the interdependent nature of all things. It encourages us to act with mindfulness, compassion, and humility, recognizing that we are part of a vast, interconnected web of life. By embracing this principle, we learn to navigate life with a sense of balance and harmony, avoiding the pitfalls of force and control. Number 4. Impermanence, anicca. Impermanence, or anicca in Pali, is a fundamental concept in Buddhism that teaches that all things are in a constant state of flux. Nothing remains the same from one moment to the next. This principle of continuous change applies to everything in the universe, from the smallest particles to the vast galaxies, and from our thoughts and emotions to the relationships and situations we encounter in life. The Buddha taught that understanding and accepting impermanence is crucial for achieving wisdom and inner peace. When we grasp the transient nature of all things, we learn to let go of attachments and expectations, which are often the root causes of our suffering. Here are key aspects of anicca and how they relate to the practice of non-force. 1. Acceptance of change. Recognizing that change is a natural part of life helps us to accept it rather than resist it. When we accept that everything is impermanent, we become more adaptable and open to new experiences. This acceptance reduces the urge to force things to remain the same or to happen in a specific way. 2. Letting go of attachment. Attachments often lead to suffering because we try to cling to things that are inherently transient. By embracing impermanence, we learn to appreciate the present moment without holding on too tightly. This mindset fosters a peaceful and flexible approach to life, enabling us to navigate its inevitable changes with grace and ease. Non-attachment helps us live more mindfully. We become attentive to our actions, thoughts, and feelings without getting overly attached to them. This mindful presence enables us to experience life as it unfolds, appreciating the transient beauty of each moment without clinging to any outcome. Here are key aspects of anatta and its relationship to the practice of non-force. 1. Letting go of ego. Anatta encourages us to let go of egoic attachments that lead to suffering. When we identify too strongly with our self-concept, our roles, identities, and possessions, we create a false sense of security that is easily threatened by change. By recognizing the impermanent and interdependent nature of our being, we can loosen the grip of the ego and experience greater freedom and ease. 2. Embracing impermanence. Non-attachment is closely linked to the principle of impermanence. When we understand that everything, including our sense of self, is in a constant state of flux, we are less likely to cling to fixed identities or outcomes. This understanding reduces the need to force situations to conform to our ego's desires and allows us to flow more gracefully with the changing tides of life. 3. Freedom from suffering. Attachment to the idea of a permanent self leads to suffering as we resist the natural flow of change and cling to an illusion of control and permanence. By letting go of these attachments and embracing the truth of anatta, we can free ourselves from the cycle of craving, aversion, and delusion that perpetuates suffering. 4. Interconnectedness. Anatta highlights the interconnected nature of all beings. When we realize that there is no separate, permanent self, we recognize our fundamental unity with all of existence. This realization fosters compassion and empathy, as we understand that the joys and sorrows of others are intimately linked to our own. 5. Living mindfully. Practicing non-attachment helps us engage with the world more fully and with less stress. As we let go of our rigid attachments to people, possessions, and outcomes, we are not constantly trying to control or hold on to what inevitably changes. This approach allows us to experience life more fully and mindfully, enhancing our capacity for presence, compassion, and empathy. By embracing anatta, we align ourselves with the natural flow of life, becoming more flexible, resilient, and open-hearted. This alignment reduces the need to force outcomes and allows us to live more peacefully and harmoniously. Impermanence, thus, is not a cause for despair, but a call to live more mindfully and compassionately, appreciating the fleeting yet precious nature of existence. Non-attachment involves being mindful of our attachments and aversions in each moment. By observing our thoughts, emotions, and desires without identification or judgment, we cultivate greater self-awareness and insight. This mindfulness allows us to see clearly the ways in which attachment and clinging create suffering, and to choose a path of non-force instead. In practical terms, cultivating non-attachment involves 1. Letting go of possessions. Detaching from material possessions and recognizing that true happiness cannot be found in external objects. 2. Releasing identities. Letting go of fixed identities and roles, recognizing that they are transient and subject to change. 3. Practicing equanimity. Cultivating equanimity in the face of gain and loss, pleasure and pain, success and failure, recognizing that they are all impermanent and ultimately unsatisfactory. 4. Developing compassion. Cultivating compassion for ourselves and others, recognizing that we are all interconnected and subject to the same fundamental truths of impermanence and non-attachment. By embodying the principle of non-attachment, we liberate ourselves from the constraints of ego and the suffering it engenders. We learn to navigate life with greater ease, openness, and compassion, embracing the ever-changing nature of existence with a sense of lightness and freedom. Non-attachment, therefore, is not a renunciation of life, but a profound acceptance of its inherent impermanence and interconnectedness. Number 6. Suffering, dukkha. Suffering, or dukkha in Pali, is a central concept in Buddhism that encompasses not only physical pain, but also the mental and emotional dissatisfaction inherent in the human condition. The Buddha taught that life is inherently unsatisfactory due to the impermanent and conditioned nature of existence. Dukkha arises from various sources, including attachment, aversion, and ignorance. When we cling to things that are impermanent, resist the natural flow of change, or misunderstand the true nature of reality, we experience suffering. The first noble truth in Buddhism is the recognition of dukkha as an inherent aspect of existence. Here are key aspects of dukkha and its relationship to the practice of non-force. 1. Recognition of suffering. Acknowledging the reality of dukkha is the first step toward liberation. When we recognize the unsatisfactory nature of existence, we become motivated to seek a path beyond suffering. This recognition opens the door to wisdom and compassion, guiding us toward a life of greater ease and freedom. 2. Understanding impermanence. Dukkha is closely linked to the principle of impermanence. When we cling to things that are subject to change, we inevitably experience disappointment and frustration. By embracing impermanence and letting go of attachments, we can reduce the intensity of suffering and find greater peace amidst life's ups and downs. 3. Letting go of craving. The Buddha taught that craving, or tanha, is the root cause of suffering. When we crave for things to be different than they are, we create a gap between reality and our expectations, leading to dissatisfaction and distress. By cultivating non-attachment and letting go of craving, we can alleviate much of the suffering we experience. 4. Compassionate response. Understanding our own suffering enables us to empathize with the suffering of others. This empathy fuels our compassion and motivates us to alleviate the suffering of sentient beings. By responding to suffering with kindness and understanding, we contribute to the well-being of all beings and cultivate a more harmonious world. Embracing these principles helps us navigate the complexities of life with a deeper understanding of the causes of suffering and the pathways to alleviating it, leading to a more mindful and compassionate existence. We enhance our ability to navigate life with greater awareness, equanimity, and compassion. Mindfulness, or sati in Pali, is a foundational practice in Buddhism that involves paying attention to the present moment with openness, curiosity, and non-judgmental awareness. It is the practice of being fully present in each moment, observing our thoughts, emotions, sensations, and surroundings without attachment or aversion. The Buddha emphasized the importance of mindfulness as a means to cultivate wisdom, compassion, and inner peace. By training the mind to be present and aware, we can break free from the cycle of reactive patterns and habitual tendencies that perpetuate suffering. Here are key aspects of mindfulness and its relationship to the practice of non-force. 1. Present moment awareness. Mindfulness involves bringing our attention to the present moment, rather than dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. When we are fully present, we can respond to life's challenges with clarity and wisdom, rather than reacting impulsively out of habit or conditioning. 2. Non-judgmental observation. Mindfulness encourages us to observe our thoughts, emotions, and sensations without judgment or criticism. Instead of labeling experiences as good or bad, we simply acknowledge them as they are, allowing them to arise and pass away without getting caught up in them. 3. Cultivating equanimity. Through mindfulness, we develop equanimity, or a balanced state of mind that allows us to remain steady and composed in the face of life's ups and downs. By observing the impermanent and ever-changing nature of our experiences, we can cultivate a sense of inner peace that is not dependent on external circumstances. 4. Interrupting reactive patterns. Mindfulness interrupts the automatic reactive patterns of the mind that lead to suffering. By bringing awareness to our thoughts and emotions, we create space between stimulus and response, allowing us to choose a skillful and compassionate response rather than reacting impulsively out of habit. 5. Deepening insight. Mindfulness leads to deeper insight into the nature of reality and the causes of suffering. As we observe the impermanent, unsatisfactory, and selfless nature of our experiences, we gain insight into the Four Noble Truths and the cessation of suffering. In practical terms, cultivating mindfulness involves formal meditation practice. Engaging in formal meditation practices such as mindfulness of breath, body scan, or loving-kindness meditation to train the mind in present moment awareness. Informal mindfulness. Bringing mindfulness into everyday activities such as eating, walking, or washing dishes by paying attention to the sensations, thoughts, and emotions that arise in each moment. Mindful reflection. Reflecting on our experiences with mindfulness, noticing patterns and tendencies in our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors, and cultivating greater self-awareness and insight. Integration into daily life. Applying mindfulness to difficult situations and interactions bringing awareness and compassion to challenging moments, and responding skillfully rather than reacting habitually. By cultivating mindfulness, we learn to live more mindfully and compassionately, appreciating the fleeting yet precious nature of existence. This practice not only reduces suffering, but also enriches our lives, allowing us to embrace each moment with a sense of grace and resilience. We cultivate a profound connection to all beings, recognizing that everyone shares the same fundamental desire to be free from suffering. Compassion, or karuna in Pali, is a fundamental quality in Buddhism that embodies the wish for all beings to be free from suffering and the commitment to alleviate the suffering of others. It is the heartfelt response to the pain and struggles of sentient beings, accompanied by the desire to offer support, comfort, and kindness. The Buddha taught that compassion is essential for cultivating wisdom and awakening the heart. Here are key aspects of compassion and its relationship to the practice of non-force. 1. Empathetic connection. Compassion involves feeling deeply for the suffering of others and recognizing our shared human condition. This empathetic connection motivates us to act kindly and supportively towards others, fostering a sense of interconnectedness. 2. Altruistic action. Compassion leads to altruistic actions that aim to alleviate the suffering of others. Whether through direct assistance, offering emotional support, or engaging in activities that promote the well-being of the community, compassion moves us to make a positive difference. 3. Non-judgmental acceptance. Practicing compassion involves accepting others as they are, without judgment. This acceptance allows us to offer kindness and support without conditions or expectations, promoting a more inclusive and understanding environment. 4. Reducing suffering. By actively seeking to reduce the suffering of others, we not only aid in their relief, but also enrich our own lives. Compassion enhances our sense of purpose and contributes to our own emotional and spiritual growth. 5. Cultivating patience and tolerance. Compassion helps us develop patience and tolerance as we come to understand and empathize with the struggles and challenges faced by others. This understanding can transform our interactions and responses, leading to more harmonious relationships. In practical terms, cultivating compassion involves mindfulness practice. Developing mindfulness enhances our ability to perceive the suffering of others and respond with compassion. Mindfulness practices help us stay emotionally connected and present, which is essential for compassionate engagement. Active listening. Truly listening to others' experiences and emotions is a form of compassionate action. Active listening shows that we value and care about what others are going through, providing comfort and validation. Service and volunteering. Engaging in service projects or volunteering for causes that alleviate suffering exemplifies compassion in action. These activities not only help those in need, but also cultivate a compassionate mindset. Cultivating loving kindness. Practices like metta, loving kindness meditation, specifically aim to develop feelings of unconditional love and kindness towards all beings, strengthening the qualities of compassion. Reflective inquiry. Reflecting on the interconnected nature of life and the universal experience of suffering can deepen our understanding and commitment to compassion. By embracing compassion, we align ourselves with a fundamental principle of Buddhism, actively working to alleviate suffering while fostering a deeper connection to others. As we deepen our practice of compassion, we discover a profound sense of fulfillment and peace, knowing that we are contributing positively to the world and living in harmony with the principles of non-force and interconnectedness. This transformative practice not only changes the way we interact with others, but also deepens our own spiritual journey, leading us towards greater wisdom and inner peace. 3. Sustained compassion. Regularly practicing loving-kindness meditation helps sustain feelings of compassion during both easy and challenging times. This steadiness allows us to remain compassionate even when faced with difficult situations or individuals, promoting enduring empathy and kindness. 4. Generosity of spirit. Loving kindness fosters a generosity of spirit, encouraging us to share our time, resources, and attention freely. This aspect of loving kindness enriches our interactions and strengthens our relationships by emphasizing altruistic behavior and mutual support. 5. Reducing prejudice and bias. By extending loving kindness to all beings, we challenge our own prejudices and biases. This practice helps us recognize the common humanity we share with others, reducing feelings of animosity and division and promoting a more inclusive and compassionate worldview. In practical terms, cultivating loving kindness involves regular meditation. Engaging in loving kindness meditation regularly helps cultivate feelings of unconditional love and goodwill towards ourselves and others. This practice involves visualizing different people, including oneself, loved ones, neutral individuals, and even those with whom we have difficulties, and mentally sending them wishes for happiness, well-being, and peace. Expressing goodwill in daily interactions. Intentionally expressing goodwill and kindness in everyday interactions, whether through words, gestures, or actions, reinforces the practice of loving kindness and makes it a living reality in our daily lives. Reflective practices. Reflecting on the benefits of loving kindness for both oneself and others can motivate ongoing practice. This reflection may include journaling about experiences of loving kindness, both received and given, and contemplating the ripple effects of these acts. Community engagement. Participating in community activities or groups focused on service and kindness can enhance the practice of loving kindness by putting it into action and seeing its impact on others. Cultivating patience and understanding. Developing patience and a deeper understanding of others' circumstances and challenges helps to nurture a compassionate response, even in difficult situations. By embracing loving kindness, we tap into a profound source of inner peace and happiness, transforming our relationships with others and the world around us. The practice of loving kindness is not just about feeling good. It's about fundamentally changing how we interact with the world, leading to greater harmony, understanding, and unity among all beings. As we deepen our practice of loving kindness, we contribute to the creation of a more compassionate, peaceful, and loving world, aligned with the principles of non-force and interconnectedness. In all situations, using our understanding to inform ethical behavior and interactions. Right effort also involves aligning our actions with our deepest values and aspirations, enhancing our personal growth and contributing positively to our communities. Introspection and self-improvement. Regularly examining our own behaviors, motivations, and emotional responses allows us to identify areas for improvement. Right effort encourages us to be honest with ourselves and to take proactive steps to cultivate positive changes, fostering a deeper sense of personal integrity and spiritual maturity. Community support. Engaging with a supportive community that shares similar values can bolster our efforts to cultivate wholesome qualities. This community can provide encouragement, accountability, and insight, helping us to persevere in our practice even during challenging times. Learning and growth. Embracing opportunities for learning, whether through formal teachings, reading, or engaging in discussions about spiritual and ethical practices, helps to deepen our understanding and refine our efforts. This continuous learning is essential for keeping our practice vibrant and relevant. By cultivating right effort, we align ourselves with the principle of non-force by focusing on personal growth and ethical living rather than attempting to control external circumstances or outcomes. Right effort is about the diligent application of oneself to the path of spiritual and ethical development, balancing action with acceptance of the natural unfolding of life's events. This balanced approach not only leads to personal transformation, but also contributes to a more mindful, compassionate, and enlightened society. Non-attachment to results. Right effort is characterized by a non-attachment to results. While we exert effort in our practice, we let go of expectations and attachments to specific outcomes. Instead, we focus on the process of cultivation itself, trusting that the fruits of our efforts will manifest in their own time. This non-attachment is crucial as it allows us to engage fully in our actions without being driven by desire for particular results, which can lead to frustration and disillusionment. Integration into daily life. Applying the principles of right effort in everyday life involves making mindful choices that reflect our spiritual values. This could mean choosing to respond rather than react in difficult situations, practicing patience, or extending kindness to others without expecting anything in return. By embracing the teachings of right effort, we commit to a path of continuous improvement and ethical living, which ultimately helps us and others around us to reduce suffering and foster a deeper sense of peace and fulfillment. This approach not only transforms our own hearts and minds, but also influences the world around us, propagating a cycle of positive change and mutual upliftment. Right action, or Samma Kamanta in Pali, is a crucial aspect of the Noble Eightfold Path and emphasizes the importance of ethical behavior in daily life. It involves actions that are in harmony with ethical principles and are motivated by a clear and compassionate intention. Right action is about making choices that reflect respect, kindness, and a commitment to non-harming. Here are key aspects of right action and its relationship to the practice of non-force. 1. Ethical conduct. Right action involves adhering to ethical principles in all our behaviors. This includes abstaining from harming living beings, stealing, dishonesty, and other conduct that can lead to suffering for oneself or others. It encourages actions that promote peace, security, and well-being in the community. 2. Integrity. Integrity is at the heart of right action. It means aligning our actions with our values and beliefs, ensuring that our behaviors consistently reflect our commitment to ethical principles. This consistency between thought, word, and deed helps to build trust and reliability in our relationships. 3. Compassion in action. Right action is characterized by compassion. It involves considering the impact of our actions on others and choosing to act in ways that alleviate suffering and promote happiness. This might include acts of kindness, charitable work, or simply lending a helping hand where needed. 4. Mindfulness and awareness. Being mindful and aware of our actions ensures that we are fully present and deliberate in our choices. This awareness helps us avoid impulsive behaviors that can lead to negative outcomes and instead allows us to act with consideration and wisdom. 5. Non-violence. Ahimsa. Nonviolence is a cornerstone of right action. It involves a commitment to resolve conflicts peacefully without resorting to physical or verbal aggression. Practicing nonviolence means finding constructive and positive ways to address disagreements and challenges. In practical terms, cultivating right action involves mindful decision-making. Making decisions mindfully, considering the potential consequences of our actions, and choosing paths that lead to positive outcomes for all involved. Ethical living. Incorporating ethical guidelines into daily life, such as those found in various spiritual and secular moral frameworks, to guide our actions. Service to others. Engaging in volunteer work or community service as a practical application of compassionate action. Cultivating patience and tolerance. Developing patience and tolerance, which are essential for responding to situations in a non-aggressive and peaceful manner. Accountability. Holding ourselves accountable for our actions, acknowledging mistakes, and making amends when our actions cause harm. By cultivating right action, we align ourselves with the principle of non-force by choosing to act ethically and compassionately, rather than using force or coercion to achieve our goals. Right action fosters a sense of responsibility and respect for the interconnectedness of all life, enhancing our spiritual development and contributing to a more just and peaceful world. As we deepen our practice of right action, we create a solid foundation for ethical conduct and spiritual growth, paving the way for a life characterized by harmony, integrity, and compassion. In what is, rather than longing for what could be. This practice helps us recognize the value and lessons in each moment, regardless of its nature. Cultivating patience. Developing patience through acceptance allows us to endure life's challenges with grace and composure. It teaches us to wait without anxiety and respond to situations with clarity, rather than react out of discomfort or urgency. Living in the moment. By practicing acceptance, we anchor ourselves in the present, focusing on the here and now, rather than dwelling on past regrets or future anxieties. This presence enhances our ability to enjoy life and engage with others authentically. In practical terms, cultivating acceptance involves mindful presence. Engaging in practices that enhance our awareness of the present moment, such as mindfulness meditation, can help us cultivate a deeper sense of acceptance. These practices teach us to observe our experiences without judgment, fully accepting each moment as it comes. Compassionate self-reflection. Reflecting on our experiences with compassion and openness allows us to accept our life circumstances and personal history with kindness. This includes acknowledging our mistakes and limitations without self-criticism. Letting go of control. Acceptance involves recognizing the limits of our control over external events and other people. By letting go of the need to control everything, we can better cope with uncertainty and change, leading to greater peace of mind. Embracing life's fluctuations. Understanding and accepting the natural cycles of life, including its highs and lows, successes and failures, helps us maintain emotional balance. This acceptance helps us navigate life's inevitable changes with resilience and wisdom. Practicing non-attachment. By cultivating non-attachment, we learn not to cling to people, possessions or outcomes, understanding that attachment often leads to suffering. Non-attachment doesn't mean indifference, but rather an appreciation of life's impermanence, which enhances our flexibility and freedom to respond to life with openness. By deepening our practice of acceptance, we align ourselves with the realities of life, finding contentment in the present and freedom from the burden of unmet expectations. This foundation of acceptance allows us to live more fully, embracing each moment with grace and gratitude and fostering a profound sense of peace and well-being. We can navigate through them effectively. Trusting in the process allows us to embrace challenges as part of the journey rather than obstacles that must be overcome with force. 5. Acceptance of life's cycles. Trust in the process involves accepting the natural cycles of life, including its ebbs and flows, successes and failures. This acceptance helps us to remain balanced and calm, regardless of external circumstances. In practical terms, cultivating trust in the process involves mindful acceptance. Practicing mindfulness to fully accept the present moment without judgment or resistance, acknowledging that it is part of a larger unfolding. Embracing uncertainty. Actively embracing the uncertainty of life, recognizing that not knowing the future can lead to openness and possibilities rather than fear and anxiety. Reflective meditation. Engaging in meditation practices that focus on the impermanent nature of life, helping to deepen trust in the natural process of change and growth. Cultivating faith. Developing faith in the path and its teachings, which can provide a comforting and stabilizing force during times of doubt or confusion. Community engagement. Being part of a supportive community that shares similar values can strengthen trust in the process by offering perspectives and experiences that affirm the journey. By cultivating trust in the process, we align ourselves with the principle of non-force by allowing life to unfold without the need to control or manipulate outcomes. This trust builds resilience and adaptability, enabling us to handle life's uncertainties with grace and equanimity. As we deepen our trust in the process, we foster a deeper connection to life's inherent wisdom, finding peace and contentment in the journey rather than solely in the destination. This approach not only enhances our own well-being, but also supports the well-being of all beings by promoting a more compassionate and understanding engagement with the world. Simplicity, or santosha in Pali, emphasizes finding contentment and peace through a simplified lifestyle, reducing our reliance on external sources of happiness and focusing on the inherent value of the present. Here are further insights into how simplicity can profoundly influence our lives and its relationship to the principle of non-force. 1. Mindful living. Simplicity encourages us to live mindfully by being fully aware of our present actions and choices. It involves making conscious decisions that reflect our core values, focusing on the essentials rather than getting caught up in the superficial or excessive. 2. Reduced material dependence. By embracing simplicity, we reduce our dependence on material possessions for happiness. This shift helps us cultivate a deeper sense of satisfaction with what we have, leading to a more sustainable and less consumptive lifestyle. 3. Enhanced focus and clarity. Simplifying our lives can lead to greater focus and clarity. Without the clutter of unnecessary possessions or distractions, we can direct our energy towards more meaningful activities and relationships, enhancing our overall quality of life. 4. Spiritual growth. Santosha supports spiritual growth by encouraging us to look inward for fulfillment rather than seeking external validation or material success. This inward focus fosters a deeper connection with our spiritual selves and enhances our journey towards inner peace. 5. Community and relationships. Simplicity fosters stronger community ties and relationships. By prioritizing human connections over material gains, we build a supportive network that values authenticity and mutual support. In practical terms, embracing simplicity can involve several actionable steps. Conscious consumption. Evaluate your consumption habits and choose to buy less and more mindfully. Opt for quality over quantity, and consider the environmental and social impact of your purchases. Decluttering physical and mental space. Regularly decluttering both your physical environment and your mental space can lead to increased clarity and reduced stress. This might include organizing your living space, simplifying your daily routines, or practicing digital detoxes. Time management. Prioritize your time around activities and people that truly add value to your life. Reduce commitments that do not align with your values or that cause unnecessary stress. Financial simplicity. Streamline your finances by budgeting and planning for financial security, with an emphasis on saving and investing wisely rather than spending impulsively. Cultivate inner contentment. Develop practices such as meditation, journaling, or spending time in nature to cultivate a state of inner peace and contentment, regardless of external circumstances. By incorporating these practices, we align with the principle of non-force, allowing life to unfold naturally without the pressure to constantly achieve or acquire more. Simplicity leads us to a richer, more fulfilling life, enabling us to navigate the world with greater peace, clarity, and compassion. In accepting the impermanence of all things, this acceptance helps us to understand that nothing lasts forever, and everything is in a constant state of flux. By acknowledging this, we can reduce our suffering related to loss and change, and appreciate the moments as they come and go. 5. Emotional release. Letting go also involves the emotional release of pent-up feelings and unresolved emotions. This release is crucial for healing and moving forward, enabling us to engage with new experiences and challenges without the burden of the past. In practical terms, cultivating the practice of letting go involves mindfulness and meditation. Engaging in mindfulness, meditation helps us observe our attachments and the transient nature of our experiences without judgment, facilitating the process of letting go. Reflective practices. Regular self-reflection helps identify areas of attachment or control in our lives. Techniques such as journaling or contemplative meditation can deepen our understanding and acceptance of the need to let go. Therapeutic techniques. Engaging in therapeutic practices such as therapy, counseling, or group support can assist in addressing deeper emotional attachments and facilitating the letting go process. Physical activity. Activities like yoga or Tai Chi can embody the practice of letting go through physical movement, helping to release tension and teach the body the habit of releasing control. Nature immersion. Spending time in nature can naturally foster a sense of letting go as we observe the effortless flow of natural processes and the cycle of life and decay, reminding us of the impermanence of our own situations. By embracing the practice of letting go, we align ourselves with the principle of non-force, allowing life to flow naturally without excessive interference. This approach not only fosters personal peace and liberation from suffering, but also enhances our ability to engage with life in a more meaningful and serene way. As we deepen our practice of letting go, we cultivate a life of greater freedom, resilience, and happiness, allowing us to face life's challenges with grace and equanimity, each moment and experience that life offers. Subscribe to our channel for more insights and guidance on how to live a balanced, fulfilling life, grounded in the profound teachings of Buddhism. Through our content, we aim to inspire and support your journey towards deeper self-awareness, peace, and happiness. Explore topics like mindfulness, compassion, and the art of living simply and gratefully, each designed to enhance your spiritual growth and overall well-being. Stay connected. Join our community online where we share daily inspirations, meditation tips, and personal stories that highlight the transformative power of Buddhist practices in everyday life. Engage with fellow seekers, ask questions, and share your experiences to gain insights and encouragement from a supportive network. Upcoming series. Don't miss our upcoming series on the Noble Eightfold Path, where we delve into each aspect of this foundational Buddhist teaching in detail. Learn how to apply these timeless principles to modern life challenges, enhancing your ability to cope with stress, uncertainty, and change. Interactive workshops. Participate in our live workshops and Q&A sessions, where you can learn directly from experienced practitioners. These sessions are designed to deepen your understanding of Buddhist teachings and meditation practices, offering practical strategies to implement them in your daily life. Resource sharing. Gain access to a wealth of resources, including guided meditations, instructional videos, and articles that explore the nuances of Buddhist philosophy and its relevance today. These resources are crafted to assist you in cultivating a mindful, peaceful, and resilient life. By subscribing and participating in our community, you take an active step towards personal transformation and the cultivation of a life marked by serenity, joy, and profound understanding. Together, let's embark on this journey of discovery and growth, inspired by the wisdom of the Buddha. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel for regular updates and become a part of a growing community dedicated to spreading peace, understanding, and compassion in the world. Let's cultivate a life of acceptance and enrich our experiences with mindfulness and gratitude.